Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
And I'm Nick Kinzel.
And joining us is a very special guest. We got Patrick Codo from the Codo's Mojo. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Ian, thank you very much for having me, and I'm happy to call you my third co-host of the Codo's Mojo.
Yeah, buddy, I'm excited to join you. So you can follow Codo's Mojo on all podcast platforms, and you can follow Patrick on all social medias. So, guys, we are digging into Ian's Pit Stop. If you haven't seen the show before, this is where we talk about off-track topics and silly season news. So, first on our list, we had some big news come out last week. Clint Bowyer, the driver of the 14 Stewart-Haas Racing Mustang, announced that he will be retiring at the end of the season, but he will be joining the Fox booth with Jeff Gordon and Mike Joy. Now, we already know that Fox booth is a little bit boring, so Clint Bowyer is definitely going to add a lot of excitement into the booth, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
It won't be a Darrell Wall trip, but we'll take some excitement.
I think I think Clint's going to be awesome in the booth. I think he brings, like you said, Ian, I think there's been something lacking in the booth since CW kind of, moved on and retired. I think Mike Joy and Jeff did an okay job, but there's just still something missing. They don't have that spark. Bowyer is super outspoken, a lot of fun. He's always the life of the party. I think he's going to be a great fit in that booth, and it's going to be great for the sport to have him, talking every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree with you guys 100% there. I think we kind of figured this was going to happen. We've heard some rumors that SHR was going to stay the same, but I think we all knew that this was going to happen. Bowyer had himself a hell of a career for sure. He was one of the most fun guys, one of the most electric guys in the garage. Damn near won himself a championship in 2012 before the whole Gordon Bowyer dilemma. Clint wound up finishing second in the championship standings that year. But no, yeah, I think he's gonna bring a lot of excitement to this Fox booth. I mean, he was on there when they were doing like the iRacing stuff, and that was like comedic gold right there. So I'm really excited for that.
Another update that we got for next year, it looks like that Matt DiBenedetto will be in the 21 car for one more year. So one more year to prove himself, hopefully one more year for this team to help him out and give him some speed and hopefully give him a race-winning car.
See, I like this. It's like a win-lose situation. It's a win move because he has a ride for next year. It's a lose situation because then he's going to be right back on a job hunt at the end of next year. So he's talked. I've heard Matt DiBenedetto's interviews, and he's just talking about he wants to be able to go somewhere where he can build a relationship with this organization and build a notebook with a crew chief. It's just when he's bouncing around every single year, he's missing out on the opportunity to do that, and then they're starting from scratch. So what I hope happens is that Matty D goes out and tears it up next year, maybe gets 2-3 wins because he's got 3 runner-up finishes this year. He's put himself in position to win before. Go out, get yourself a win next year, set yourself up good for somewhere long-term, and I really do think, not to get too far ahead of our silly season, I really do think he will be in a Penske car in 2022, that being that 2 car.
Well, I think it's a possibility, but like you said, I think he's going to have to come out and perform. I think he's done fine in 2020. I don't think he's, torn the doors off it, nor do I think he's been, a disappointment by any stretch. So with that being said, I think the best thing for him to do, like you said, Nick, he's going to have to get a win or 2 next year, make the playoffs and really, make a charge in the playoffs. I think he's going to have to prove as to why he deserves a top ride because, once again, we're right back in the same boat after the 2021 season. So, and then from there, somebody's going to have to take a chance on him. So he's going to have to give people a reason to want him to sign there. I think the best thing for him to, like you said, would be to get somewhere where he can kind of, build a relationship and try to maybe build a team or, build a rapport with a crew chief because he hasn't had that in his career. But again, he's going to have to put himself in a position to get that.
He's like, yeah, absolutely. If Matt DiBenedetto does not go to victory lane next year, I don't know what's going to happen to him. Like, it's almost a must at this point. Like, he wants to keep going out there and getting these top rides. Well, at some point, you're going to have to win to get yourself a top ride. So that has got to be number one on the list for next season.
Oh, absolutely. So in 2022, the guy that's going to take that ride will be Austin Cindric. We've seen him tear it up this year in the Xfinity Series. He will be getting a part-time Cup ride next year with Penske. So we'll see how he runs, but he will be running a full-time schedule in the Xfinity Series, lining him up for a ride in the 21 car in 2022.
I think it's a smart move for him to stay down in the Xfinity Series another year and then come up to Cup when it's time for the next gen car. Now, circling his part-time schedule next year, I think you have to put some of those road courses on there because that's what Austin Cindric does best. I know he said in interviews he doesn't want to be just labeled as a road course guy, but sorry, buddy, you're really good at them. You're going to be labeled as a road course guy. So I definitely see Austin Cindric. What's going on?
Could you see that battle between Chase Elliott and Austin Cindric on the road courses? Oh my goodness. I cannot wait for the future.
It could be very exciting because I really do think those are going to be his part-time rides next year are going to be a majority of those road course races.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's smart for a number of different reasons. First and foremost, we've kind of talked about other people getting brought up to the Cup season or Cup Series a little too soon in their career. They're obviously not doing that with Austin Cindric. They're giving him another year at the Xfinity level when he's borderline ready now based on his results this season. They're going to give him another opportunity to run for a championship because if Chase Briscoe moves up, that's one less top contender he's going to have to battle for a championship next year. And then, like we said, you're not driving a car for 1 year just to learn a brand new car the very next season. So he's not driving the Gen 6 just to jump in the next gen car in 2021 or 2022, I should say. So that's, I think, a big advantage too, because you're not making bad habits or anything like that. So I think they'd be smart to not have all 6 of his starts be road course races. I think it'd be nice to give him a test or a little taste of some other racetracks, maybe a short track in there,
right?
Something like that to kind of, get him some familiarity where there's no real pressure on him in some of these other situations as well. But overall, good move for Penske. Overall, good move for Austin Cindric and Wood Brothers.
Absolutely. Yeah, good job for them for locking up a really good driver. And some other silly season news that we have, Brandon Jones will be back in the 19 Xfinity car for Joe Gibbs Racing next year. We've seen him kind of be there this year, doing a lot better than his teammate Riley Herbst. So obviously, Jones deserves that ride way more.
He's the case of right place, right time. That's all I have to say about Brandon Jones with all of his wins this season. They have literally, besides that Phoenix win with Kyle Busch, all of his other wins this season, right place, right time. So I don't know. We saw Brandon Jones could have been slated to take over the 96 car next year, but I mean, I guess good for him getting another year for the Xfinity Series. But he's just a driver who driving that good equipment he's not up front enough for me. So I don't know, man. Good for him, I guess.
See, I was surprised he didn't make the move up to the Cup Series in one of these smaller teams. The reason being, obviously, he's going to be bringing a lot of money with him whenever he moves from team to team because he's got backing. You've got some cars and some situations where the 43s losing Bubba, a lot of sponsorship money. That there's a lot of races that they got to figure out how they're filling financially. Not saying that that's specifically where I thought Brandon Jones would go, just using it as an example because that is one of probably a dozen different examples of cars in that same situation. You look at the 32 is going to be the same way next year, so on and so forth. It's a game of results and sponsorship. You kind of have to have both if you want to have opportunities. So I think he definitely brings heavy the sponsorship game. So maybe one more year down there, and then maybe he can take his money Cup racing next year.
Yeah, I could see that happening. All right, guys, and to finish off this episode, we had a little hint from Matt Kaulig. He's the head over at Kaulig Racing. He hinted that he might be starting a Cup team in 2022. We saw them do, I think it was the Daytona 500. They had Justin Haley entered into the 16 car. So, guys, who do you see taking over that Cup Series Kaulig car? Could it be someone like AJ Allmendinger? 2022, we might still have these 6 road course races, so I think that would be perfect for Kaulig Racing. They also got Justin Haley, up and coming talent, or someone else. So, guys, who do you think is going to take over that ride for Matt Kaulig in 2022 in the Cup Series?
I think it's going to be really hard to tell at this point whether they're going to promote from within. We don't know who's going to be free agents yet. I think it's pretty far out to kind of, anticipate where those dominoes will fall. But I'll say this, if I had to pick somebody from in-house and they're going to try to grow with somebody, I think Justin Haley makes a lot of sense. This is going to piss Nick off, but he's a Cup Series winner already.
Oh, piss off. Get out of here with that crap. I'm a Cup Series winner at that point then. All he did was drive under yellow. He didn't even lead a lap under yellow. That don't get me started, bro. Let's not peel back again here. Oh man.
That's what I wanted to happen right there.
Get the hell off. You just ruined my night right there by saying that. You really did.
Not my fault. He's a Cup Series winner.
Pissed off? No, he's not.
Oh my goodness!
But hey, getting back to more serious tone, he's done a good job so far with Kaulig at the Xfinity level. What was that, buddy?
I said it looked like he smoked a bunch before his show. Comments of his
a bunch
fucking
of crack before the start of this episode.
Yeah.
Apparently, Mike's on track if he's calling Justin Haley a Cup Series winner.
Hey man, look it up. Look at his racing reference. Like, he has 1 win at the Cup level. They don't ask me about the stats and their validity. I just tell you.
Man, the biggest asterisk better be above that win right there.
That was the best episode of the Stock Car Spectacle ever. My first episode. That was incredible. Watching you lose your mind on that one. But getting back into some, a little more serious note though, I think he's a young driver coming up. It would be easy for a young driver and a young team with a young owner to grow together. I think he's proven at the Xfinity level he's fast. I think he's proven that he could make the jump to the Cup Series and have some success in the right kind of situation. So I think he makes a lot of sense. But I'm also not going to discount AJ Allmendinger either. Cup veteran. He knows what it takes to get it done at the Cup level. He's been there before. On top of the fact that, he's looked very strong this year in Kaulig equipment. So maybe they do go with the veteran first to get their team set up. But I'd say long term, if we're looking at their current driver lineup right now, we know Ross Chastain won't be around. If I were them, I'd be going to Justin Haley.
Yeah, it could go either way, but I tend to agree with Mike here. I might have some beef with Justin Haley, but I think he's the right guy to go get this ride, especially if this does happen. New team, why not take a young driver up with you? And Justin Haley's proven he can get it done on some of these tracks, especially those super speedway tracks in the Xfinity series, not at the Cup level, because that was a bunch of bullshit. But no, in all seriousness, Justin Haley, I think, is going to be the guy who takes this ride. And I think that sets, because we don't even know if AJ Allmendinger wants to go back full-time Cup Series racing. We just don't know. I think AJ's if he wants to go back full-time racing, why not put him down in your Xfinity car? He's already torn it up. He's got 4 wins with Kaulig Racing. So I think they'd be, if Justin Haley makes that move to Cup in that Kaulig car, I think that AJ Allmendinger should take over that car, go win a championship. That's almost an easy move right there. But yeah, it's kind of up in the air. Like, it could go both ways. I could see AJ taking it, but in the end, I think Justin Haley's the right guy for that car.
Oh, absolutely. Like you guys said, they need a young driver to grow with, and they already have a, relationship with him. He's been driving with them for a couple of years now. So absolutely perfect fit for Kaulig Racing. The Cup Series would be Justin Haley.
And then he can go win himself a race the right way.
I'm going to buy you that race win diecast just to see your reaction.
He's going to smash it.
I'll be having a bonfire that night, and I can torch it.
There you go.
Or feed it to the dogs.
There you
Oh
go.
God, I don't want to kill my dogs with that, man.
Yeah, you want him to eat metal.
Especially especially Kilo.
Yeah. Nah, he'll eat anything.
Yeah,
Uh,
he probably
Surprised
eats
he
some
didn't eat
shit
me.
anyway. So
But yeah, overall, Justin Haley deserves that ride, and I think that's what we're going to see happen in the end. So
yep.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that will do it for us at Ian's Pit Stop. You guys got anything else to add?
Justin
Lots
Haley
of
didn't win
dominoes.
at Daytona.
All right.
Yep, that was the best thing I ever said on the show. We really got Nick going there. That was awesome. But hey, lots of dominoes still to fall. A lot of rumors going around. So, and as they come out, we'll be sure to talk about them.
I'm going to petition myself that I actually won the race at Daytona because I did the same amount of work that Justin Haley did to win that race. I just sat there and waited for a yellow, and that's what happened. Didn't even lead a lap under yellow, didn't lead a lap under green. So that's a bunch of bull. So Nick Kinzel won the 2019 Firecracker 400 at Daytona.
All
I
right.
think that's a hell of a place to lead it off or leave it at there.
Yeah. You guys heard it here. So I think that's a great place to end the show here. So we'd like to thank our guest Patrick Codo for coming on. You can find him on all social media platforms. You can find his podcast, The Codo's Mojo, on all podcast platforms. So make sure to give him a follow and make sure to listen in. You can follow me, Nick, and Mike. We're all on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure to follow us on all podcast platforms. So that'll do it for us, guys. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
And I'm Nick Kinzel.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.